some people will claim that Jesus never claimed to be God. They'll say, well, Paul kind of cooked that up in the centuries afterwards, and people say that, but we're not really sure if that's really, and I look at this and I'm like, with the weight of the Old Testament sitting behind this, and also the way that the Pharisees respond to this statement, when Jesus says that, everybody responded as if he was claiming to be God, and Jesus didn't debate that or argue that or question that, which Jesus debates and argues and questions people a lot when they're wrong. So if there was a misunderstanding there, Jesus would have cleared that up, but he doesn't. So in verse 54 we pick up, Jesus answered, "If I glorify myself, my glory is nothing. It is my Father who glorifies me, of whom you say he is our God. But you have not known him. I know him, and if I were to say that I did not know him, I would be a liar like you. But I do know him, and I keep his word. Your father Abraham rejoiced that he would see my day. He saw it and was glad." So the Jews said to him, "You are not yet 50 years old, and you have seen Abraham?" Jesus said to them, "Truly, truly, I say to you, before Abraham was, I am." And they picked up stones to throw at him, but Jesus hid himself and went out of the. Sometimes we struggle with the idea of God, and our world certainly tries to ignore him. But I think even more, sometimes we struggle with the idea of Jesus being God, because so much of what people say about him is that he was a good teacher, he was a good philosopher, he was an ethicist, but we'll often sort of separate the fact that he actually claimed to be God. But when we look at John chapter 8, John chapter 1, we have to confront ourselves with the reality that Jesus said that he was God, that his followers believed that he was God, and that's what the Bible says over and over and over again. So if we're going to say that we're followers of Jesus and that we want to do what he says, we have to acknowledge he's God. That's what he said. That's what everybody else that followed him said. Like that's what we have to believe in order to be Christians.